Hey guys, Mike from MacDonald.com here. And do you feel like you've run out of people to talk to in your business? Or maybe you feel like you're not sure what to say when you're approaching someone either offline or online about your business? Well, in today's video, I'm going to cover some of my top network marketing prospecting tips you can use to grow your business, so stay tuned. So for me, I've been in network marketing and direct sales for over 13 years at this point. I've generated thousands of leads for my business, become a top affiliate in various programs. And these are some of the tips that have really helped me to grow my business. And I know they work because when I first started, I struggled for a long time. You know, when I first joined the industry, I was an introverted video game nerd. I was terrible with people. I didn't have a network to tap into. So really learning and mastering the prospecting and recruiting side of things made a big difference in my business, and the skill sets you can apply in your business as well. So the first thing to really understand is that there's a big difference between warm market, or basically people that you know, friends and family, acquaintances, and then cold market, people that you don't know. Now, most companies will teach you to start off with your friends and family, and I certainly agree with that too, starting off with that warm market. And there's certainly advantages to that. There's also disadvantages, which I'll get to in a bit, but one of the main reasons why you want to start with that group is that they already know, like, and trust you, right? And so that's a big factor of people getting started in your business. All things being equal, people need to know, like, and trust you first before they decide to join your team or do business with you. So that's one big thing that you want to focus on, is establishing that if that's not already there. But what's great with warm market and people that you know is you already have that in place. Another great factor with warm market, since they do have that know, like, and trust factor, it's a great place to start, because typically when you're starting off in your business, you're going to screw it all up, right? You're going to say the wrong things, you're going to mess things up, and that's totally fine. That's part of your learning curve. I did that too. I think everybody did that, right? You know, all leaders were terrible in the beginning. It's just a learning curve. It's a process, right? So when you're starting with warm market and friends and family, you can still screw it up, but still bring people onto your team, still get new customers started, because they'll at least hear you out. You know, with cold market, that's not really the same kind of thing. If you screw it up and say all the wrong stuff, they're not going to take a look or even take you seriously. So it's a great place to start and start to get through your learning curve and really master the foundation skill sets that you're going to need to be successful in your business. Another great advantage of warm market is that it's free, right? It's not going to cost you any money to call up your friends and family, to reach out to them on Facebook, to send them a message, right? That is free. And so that's a great advantage as well. Whereas you move into cold market and online marketing, there can be some different overheads for running your business or advertising if you decide to go in that route. Another great advantage of this is that it's fast, right? You know, one of the main reasons you even get into cold market is to get into other people's warm market. So you can build through your contacts that you get started and build a huge organization. So it's not necessarily the exact person that you personally bring in. They might know someone who knows someone who knows someone that can explode your business. So typically warm market builds a lot faster because there is that know, like, and trust factor already established. And so that's a great reason why you should start there. Now, should you dictate your long-term success on warm market? No, right? You can certainly become massively successful solely through warm market, but when you're looking at the numbers of it, how many people are there that you know versus how many people that you don't know? And so when it comes to cold market, there's a huge wide open space of people, you know, billions on the planet, right, that you can tap into to grow your business. So it's really unlimited. You're never really going to run out of people to talk to when you're dealing with cold market. The downside is that there isn't that know, like, and trust factor already established. So you need to build that. You need to develop that relationship throughout the prospecting process. Now, another great advantage of cold market is you can be a little bit more targeted, where when it's warm market, typically you just kind of throw it out there to everybody. And from a marketing standpoint, when you market to everyone, you're really marketing to no one. And so when you go into cold market or you're expanding on social media, you have the advantage of targeting the right people. You know, a lot of people make this mistake of actually not targeting, right? And they just spam their links, they spam their company all over the place, and that doesn't really work. So again, you can be targeted and reaching out to people that are actually interested and open to what you have and leading with value first, serving that audience and getting targeted leads throughout that market. So it is more of a process. Typically, it's a slower pace when it comes to cold market. But at the same time, once you do get those people started, you can dive into their warm market and start to build through that network and basically get back into warm market. So again, another, I guess, disadvantage with cold market is that you need a higher level skill set. You need better transitions. You need a higher level invite. You know, when you're talking to friends and family, you can just say something like, hey, I've got something you got to see. You know, or I'm working on a new project. I want to get your opinion on it. You know, when can we meet up? I'm working on a new project and I thought of you. You know, I'm just curious, are you open to something extra right now? I thought based on your experience in XYZ, I thought you could be a good fit, and I figured I'd at least throw it out there, right? So, you know, there's a lot of invites that you can use that you can expose people very quickly because you have that relationship. Warm market, cold market, it's a little bit more of a process. So just understand that you're going to need to develop a higher level skill set. So again, another big reason why I recommend starting with warm market first to hone your skill set, and then you can just apply everything that you've learned over in the cold market process as well. Now, getting into the actual tips of how you can use cold market and warm market prospecting effectively to grow your business. So the first thing that I have for you is that you need to get out of pitch mode. You know, one thing that I find keeps a lot of people struggling in their business and why they're not getting results is they're just so focused on the mindset of how can I sell this person versus actually how can I help this person, actually finding a need, finding a want, you know, some way that you can actually help that person and transition into your business and naturally at that point. A big aspect to this too is not being weird. You know, I know a lot of people, they get started in their business and they're excited and that's awesome, but they're so grandiose, they're so over the top with it. They just become a totally different person, and they, like I said, they get into pitch mode and it's like they say things that are just not normal. And so you want to avoid that. You want to be a normal human being, right? Have that conversation with someone, find out their pain points, and transition into your business naturally. A great way to do that as well is to use the tools that your company actually provides. You know, typically you're going to have, you know, a video presentation, a DVD, an online presentation, maybe a webinar that you do. Maybe you can meet someone for coffee, do a presentation, do a 2-on-1, you know, invite your expert or the person that sponsored you in the business to help out. There's a lot of different ways to expose the business, and just understand when you follow the system, you're going to get results. A lot of people I find try and do everything on their own. They don't follow the system. They try and reinvent the wheel. They say things like, oh, well, I know my friends, they're different, so they're going to invite a different way. They're going to use a different presentation, and that's why they're not succeeding, because they're not actually following the system. So get out of pitch mode, use the tools, use the system that's actually in place, and you're going to get a lot better results. The next thing I have for you, I talked about it a little bit, but you really want to ask and find out about them. Find out about the person, because again, like I said, you want to get out of pitch mode and stop thinking of how can I sell this person and figure out how can you help this person. What kind of pain points do they have? What kind of needs do they have? What kind of wants do they have? What are their goals? What are their desires? What are they looking to avoid in their life? What's keeping them up at night? What is keeping them frustrated, right? You need to find these things that this person is struggling with, that they want to change in their life, and then show them how through your business you can actually do that. So throughout this conversation process, again, you're going to ask more questions of the person, you know, find out what they do for a living, what do they do for work, you know, how long have they been doing that, what do they like best about it, what do they like least about it. One thing that you can do too is you always want to assume that they enjoy what they do, right? You know, I find a lot of people make the mistake is they come off as kind of almost condescending or arrogant in a way where they're like, oh, well, that job must suck, or you must hate that, or, you know, this must be terrible having to work your job, right? No one wants to hear that. People actually kind of swing the pendulum then in that sense, where they go on the defensive and they start to like actually defend their job. Like, oh no, it is great. You know, here's why it's great. Here's why it's awesome. And that's actually the opposite thing that you want to have happen, right? So when you actually assume the positive, wow, you must really enjoy it, or man, sounds like you're really passionate about it, or man, you must really love what you do. When you make that assumption, it allows them to open up and say things like, no, I don't really enjoy it, or yeah, you know, the pay is good, but I hate the hours, or you know, it is kind of frustrating, or you know, oh, it just pays the bills. You know, you'll get different responses like that. And so at that point, it kind of allows you to transition into saying something like, well, I get it. You know, I totally understand that. You can burn out on things, or you know, not everything's a good fit for somebody. You know, I'm just curious, have you ever considered doing something different? You know, that's a big transition that I use all the time, is just inviting people, seeing if they're open, right? So I'm like, hey, you know, have you ever considered doing something else outside of that? Or, you know, if I could show you a way to make the same kind of income you're making now, but you know, not have to work the hours you were complaining about, would you be open to checking it out? So Eric Worre talks about a great invite. It's if I, would you? And so you basically, if I, you know, basically could show you a way to get rid of that problem or reach that goal faster, or, you know, avoid that pain point in your life, whatever the case might be. So if I, would you? So if I could show you a way to spend more time with your kids, would you be open to checking it out? So that's a great transition as well. And again, if you don't really know, you know, just see if they're open to something extra. I'd be like, hey, you know, it may or may not be for you, but I'm just curious, do you keep your career options open? That could be a great one. Or you could say, hey, you know, it may or may not be for you, but I'm just curious, are you so focused on what you're doing now that you can't look at anything else, or do you keep your career options open? So that could be a great way to transition into your business if you haven't found a specific need, want, goal, pain point of theirs in that conversation of asking more questions. That's a great thing to do. The next step is actually to transition naturally. You know, I find a lot of people don't do this very well, right? They actually jump into presentation mode, or again, they have that pitch mode mindset. They've got the blinders on. All they're focused on is how can I sell this person? And that ends up pushing people away. So again, you want to invite at this point, not present. A lot of people make the mistake and they explain everything, right? I look at it like a movie preview. You want to give someone a preview that's going to entice them to actually see the movie, right? You're not trying to explain every plot twist in the movie, the character development, the twists at the end, you know, the great fight scene that happens. You're not there to explain all those details. You just a quick preview and then see if somebody's open and transition into the business. Now, again, if you followed the last step of asking probing questions, you can use a very simple transition of, I couldn't help but overhear. And so as you're talking with someone, you found out a need, you found out a want, whatever the case might be, and you can say something like, hey, I couldn't help but overhear when we were talking. It sounds like you're kind of frustrated at your work. You know, you're working a lot of hours, but they're not really paying you what they should be. You know, I'm just curious, would you be open to something else if it didn't interfere with what you're going on, where you could maybe get out of that job, right? And so that's a great transition, is I couldn't help but overhear blank. That's where you restate the problem, restate the need, the want, the goal, whatever the case might be. You know, I couldn't help but overhear blank. If I could show you a way to get rid of that or solve that problem or reach that goal faster, would you be open to checking it out? And so along these lines as well, you want to incorporate a little bit of fear of loss and a takeaway from the person. So again, a big reason why people struggle when they're prospecting and recruiting is they're very needy and desperate, right? No one likes that person. No one wants to work with a beggar. They want to work with a leader. And so use the takeaway, right? Again, think of it as you are the CEO of your business, right? Are you going to just want to work with everyone that breathes, or do you want to find the right people that are motivated, that are they're leaders, they have integrity, you know, they're driven, they're motivated. Those are the kind of people you want to work with, right? Not just everybody. And so again, have that mindset when you're prospecting and recruiting. So this comes back to that fear of loss. So you could say something like, hey, you know, it may or may not be for you, but I'm working on a new project and I thought of you based on what you were telling me. You know, I'm just curious, would you be open to something extra if it didn't interfere with what you're doing now? Another version of this is, hey, you know, I can't promise anything, but my company is expanding in the area and we're looking for people just like you. You know, I'm just curious, would you be open to something extra? Or, you know, hey, we're the company I work with is going through a lot of expansion right now, and based on what you're telling me, it sounds like you could potentially be a good fit. You know, it may or may not be for you, but I'm just curious, would you be open to something extra, or do you keep your career options open? Right? So these are great transitions where you can say it may or may not be for you. I can't promise anything. I can't guarantee anything. Those are great transition words where you don't come across as desperate and needy. And again, you're just seeing if people are open, right? You're more nonchalant about it. You don't really care if they do it, if they don't. And that's the posture and the positioning you want to come from as well, where they don't feel like you're needy and desperate trying to beg them to join your company or check out what you have going on. Because again, people don't want to feel like they're being sold when you're pitching your business. And so avoid that when you can. Another tip that I have for you is that treat your business like a numbers game. A lot of people struggle because they get addicted to the outcome of every invite, of every presentation, of every conversation that they have, right? And if you do that, you're setting yourself up for a lot of frustration. So when it comes to effective recruiting, effective prospecting for your business, treat it like a numbers game. You know, don't worry about the yeses and nos. When you have that consistent effort over time in your business, you will get the yeses, right? Getting no's is just a process of the recruiting process. So it happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. And again, God has a sense of humor, right? It's like the people that you think will won't, and the people that you won't think won't will. So don't really prejudge your contacts, whether that's cold market, warm market, whatever the case might be. You know, that's why I really love to invite by asking if people are open to seeing what I have going on, because when you do that, it's a lot more natural to transition into your business. It's not pushy, and again, you can focus on the numbers versus trying to convince people to join or buy from you when they're not really interested. And that's another big reason why people struggle, is they're spending too much time on the wrong people. They're trying to convince the same 4 or 5 people that aren't interested to join their business instead of actually talking to enough people and going through the numbers and actually finding those that are interested and open, and then moving forward with those people. The last tip that I have for you is how to actually transition into your presentation. Now, I talked a little bit about some different transition phrases, but typically you don't want to present on the spot. That's really weird. Like I said, you don't want to go into presentation mode. You probably aren't going to have your tools. You're not going to have the company video. You'll say too much. It's going to come off weird, and it's not a good experience for everybody. So in a way to avoid that is actually to say things like, hey, you know, I know now's not really the time to get into it, but, you know, let's exchange information. You know, I can get in contact with you here in the next couple of days, let you know what's going on. So if you had invited them to check out your opportunity basically in the last step, that would be a natural transition. Or again, give yourself an out. You know, hey, now's not really the time to get into it. I got to hop into this meeting, or I got to go pick up the kids, or, you know, I'm just heading into work. I can't really get into it right now, but you know, let's exchange information. I can follow up with you in a day or two, and we can chat more about it. So again, you want to basically set up an out for yourself, just so you don't have to get into question answer mode. It's not like you don't want to share the information. You absolutely do, but you want to do it in the right way, in the right format for people, so they can see your business for what it really is. So give yourself an out. You know, now's not really a good time to get into it. Hey, I know you're at work. You know, hey, I know we're just jumping off the plane here, but I'm just curious, would you be open to something extra? Or, you know, based on our conversation, it sounds like you're pretty frustrated. You know, have you ever considered keeping your career options open? Or have you ever considered doing something else? So great transitions. You know, if they are like, oh, what is it? What's it all about? Well, like I said, now's not really a good time to get into it, but, you know, let's exchange information. We can set up a time to meet later this week and run through the details and see if it's a fit on both sides for us. Along with that, another tip for you is that you don't want to ask permission to exchange contact information. You know, saying something like, oh, would it be okay if I got your number? Or would it be cool if I text you? You just assume that it is, right? You know, hey, let's exchange information. One that I like to use all the time is, hey, you're on Facebook, right? And then I pull out my phone, I open up Facebook, and I hand it to them when it's in the search bar, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, put yourself in here. You know, I'll add you on Facebook. And what's cool with this option is that you can actually continue to drip on them and expose your lifestyle. So if you're using social media correctly, you're leading with lifestyle, you're leading with value, you're not in pitch mode, you're not, in salesperson mode all over your profile, right? Instead, you're leading with value, you're showing your great lifestyle, and that's attractive to people, right? And so when you connect with them on Facebook in that manner, they can see a little bit about you, and then you can message them a couple days from now after you've met them and even invite them at that point. So you might just gather information the whole first part when you're prospecting, finding those pain points. Hey, you're on Facebook, right? Let's connect over here. It was great to meet you. We should definitely meet up again, or we should definitely chat more down the road. Whatever, we should grab a beer sometime. You're on Facebook, right? Here, why don't you enter your name? Yeah, and we can be friends over there. Let's connect on that. So again, at that point, a couple days later, you can follow up with that person by sending them a message. Hey, it was great meeting you a couple days ago. I remember when we were talking, I couldn't help it over here. And then again, you transition into your invite at that point. Same thing with phone number. A great way to do this, whether it's online or you've met them in person, is to give your information first, right? Hey, we should definitely exchange information. By the way, here's my phone number. You give them your phone number. What's yours? And so when you create that reciprocal relationship, people are a lot more likely to give you their phone number and connect with you. And so again, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to get them in front of the presentation, get them in front of the information. And so making that as natural as possible. I'll use that a lot on social media, where I offer my number first and then ask them for theirs. So, hey, here's my number. By the way, what's yours? And so that is, I never really get any resistance at all with that. People give me their number all the time with that invite. And so I would suggest using that as well. So again, don't get into presentation mode. Keep it to inviting and transitioning naturally in your business. And see, these are some of the best ways that I found to get results and bring on new business partners, new team members, new customers for my business. So again, guys, hopefully you got some benefit and value out of this video. If you did, feel free to comment and share, and also be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications to get more tips and training to help you build a profitable business from home. And then also, if you are looking more to expand your business on social media, start attracting leads to you instead of just being in the hunter mode and having to go out and prospect. Would it make a big difference to have people coming to you, right? People jumping into the boat when you're fishing? Well, I put together a free attraction marketing ebook to teach you the ins and outs of how to actually do that and attract new customers, new clients, new business partners to you instead of you having to hunt them down. So if you'd like to get that, I actually have it available for free right now for a limited time. So if you'd like to access that, click on the link below this video, or again, you can head on over to coachmikemcdonald.com/ebook. Again, that's coachmikemcdonald.com/ebook, and you can get that free Attraction Marketing Secrets ebook to learn how to attract a flood of buyers, a flood of new team members coming to you versus you just having to hunt them down. So again, guys, hopefully you got some benefit and value out of this video, and we'll talk to you more soon. If you'd like to learn how to implement attraction marketing in your business and learn how to get a flood of buyers and attract leads and sales to your business through attraction marketing, definitely download my free Attraction Marketing Secrets ebook. There's going to be a link below this video that you can access my free Attraction Marketing Secrets ebook. So go ahead and click the link below this video to download your free Attraction Marketing Secrets ebook to help you take your business to the next level. But thanks again. We'll talk to you more soon.